from Denmark. Do you mind sending us a few people? Send us some nice people. Do you mind? But we always take people from Somalia.
This guy is not for real. Oh my god, this guy is not real life. There's no way this guy. Somalia. What the hell was that?
If you knew what you were made of, then we would save the world.
So we are back on Donald Trump. Donald J. Trump. I don't know if that's his name, but I'm gonna call him that. the gift that keeps on giving, the living meme president. And he's made a speech recently. And I think after watching the speech, I realized one thing, and that's either he's trolling everybody, or Donald Trump understands that the populations of the West truly don't understand immigration. Like, I don't think people understand what immigration is. I think even critics don't really understand what immigration is and how immigration policies work. They've been selling this lie for so long that immigration and open borders policy is an act of charity and an act of guilt. It's white guilt for the things that empires have done in the past. It's none of that bollocks. But anyway, let's listen to what old Trumpy boy has to say. I'm reacting to this woman, I'm reacting to a video on Instagram by the Babbling Chick.
Can't be real life. What the hell did I just watch?
I've also announced a permanent pause on third world migration, including from hellholes like Afghanistan, Haiti, Somalia, and many other countries.
Listen. Fuck you guys. But listen.
Why can't we have some people from Norway, Sweden, just a few? Let us have a few. From Denmark. Do you mind sending us a few people? Send us some nice people. Do you mind? But we always take people from Somalia.
This guy is not for real. Oh my god, this guy is not real life. There's no way this guy. Somalia. What the hell was that? This guy is not for real. Like, we send us some nice people. Send us some from Sweden, Norway. We always get Somalia. And he has to understand, guys, you do realize, and this is the thing, I don't think people truly understand how immigration works. Okay, if you took people from Sweden, Denmark, Norway, developed nations, that wouldn't be called immigration. Okay, that would be called migration. Okay, there'd be expats. Okay, they'll be leaving there with the sole purpose, the sole desire to take up a job that they already had. You'd have to offer them something. So if you want people from those regions, create the jobs for them. That's the only way you're going to get them over. Because immigration, when people immigrate to a nation like America from a developing nation, okay, they normally are not immigrating directly into a job, particularly if they're refugees. Okay, they're immigrating there for opportunity, and normally the only opportunity they're given is the jobs that exist because no one else wants them. Yeah, you'll know a nation's immigration policy when you just walk into a Starbucks. Okay, walk to a Starbucks, or walk into a friggin' Shoe Express, or walk into any of these stores, you know what I mean? Walk into a Tesco or something like that, and you will learn instantly what a nation's immigration policy is. Every developed Western nation has got its immigrant funder nations, the places where it likes to take immigrants from. And guess what? They're not other developed nations. Okay, they're not other developed nations. Yeah, why would someone from a developed nation who could get a job in their own nation go to another nation with the risk of not finding employment or inserting themselves at the bottom. They're not going to do that. This is why you don't have Swedish and Norwegians. Why would they leave their nation to go to the US? What the do you think people want to do in the US of A? Honestly, your country from the outside looks like hell, particularly with you at the helm. With you at the helm, it's literally the most unattractive nation in the world. Why the hell would you go there? You literally have to be desperate to go there. This is why you've always allowed in a load of Mexicans and a load of Africans and a load of this, that, and the other, because in order for your economy to keep growing, in order for your organizations, you guys with your tech bros, oh my God, you love cheap labor. Yeah, who do you think is going to take one of those shelf stacking jobs at friggin' Amazon, those slave 14 hour a day shifts on your feet running up and down the Amazon factory? Who do you think is going to take that job? You think you're going to get a guy who's going to migrate from Sweden? Yeah, you think you're going to get a guy who's going to migrate from London? You think you're going to get a guy who's going to migrate from Norway, these places who have, you know, developed economies, to come and take one of your bottom feeder jobs running up and down a factory? Because you guys don't produce anything. It's not like you're going to, it's like, get real. This guy does not, I hope no one's falling for this. This guy either doesn't understand immigration, or the general public is just like really stupid about these things. You have to make your nation attractive to attract people from other developed nations. Otherwise, what you're going to do is what every developed nation has done up until this point, and that's to open their doors to certain nations to provide low level, and when I say low level, I'm talking about their kind of like their employment level, low level immigrants to come in and take up those positions. Come to the UK, come and see all of the entry level nurses. Yeah, that will tell you where your migrants are coming from. You will always see them occupying those jobs that don't pay enough, but their presence, those jobs existing, is the very reason why things remain affordable for the general population. What you'll find is if you take this closed door policy, like the US is trying to do, yeah, closing the door to all that's going to happen is prices are going to go up in line with the rising minimum wage. Now, the only way, and this is where I have to throw out a warning to my Black American population, the only way they're going to keep that minimum wage down whilst closing the door to immigrants is by essentially forcing some of the internal population into these undesirable positions. And that means, you know, essentially putting the poorest parts of the nation back into serfdom, which is what I think their plan is for parts, or at least a proportion of the Black American population, if they don't watch their P's and Q's. So this is where you just have to be very careful. It's like, if they're closing the door to immigrants, my question mark is, who are they expecting to fulfill those jobs? Because countries don't take a net loss when it comes to immigrants. You have to understand that. Okay, they only open up the doors to immigration in as much as they require them. What you don't get is a large bunch of, you know, they open the doors to immigrants and then you got a whole bunch of homeless, begging immigrants on the street. The only reason that happened in the UK, and that did happen in the UK, is when we were part of the EU. And you had a whole bunch of Eastern Europeans, particularly like Bulgarians and Romanians, coming here and just begging because they realized they could make more money begging here than they were making when they were begging in Bulgaria and Romania. But for a large part, all of the actual migrants, the refugees, they all get jobs. They all get employed. They don't sit around on the dole doing nothing. They find work to do, you know? So anyway, let's carry on watching.
Places that are a disaster, right? Filthy, dirty, disgusting, ridden with crime. The only thing they're good at is going after ships.
If you are making excuses or telling me that I'm taking that out of context, you are also fucking racist. That wasn't immigration policy. What he just said is, we don't want Black people or brown people here anymore. He literally said he wants people from Norway, Sweden, and Denmark, all white as hell. And you people keep on acting like, oh, that's not what he meant. Fucking stop. He said it with his whole chest. He said these people are dirty, disgusting, and filthy. He reduced black and brown human beings to trash. And you're telling me that's not racism? Use your eyes and ears. This is them deciding whose skin color is worthy, who's clean enough, who's good enough, who belongs, and who should we keep out. They're not fucking hiding it, but what pisses me off more is all the fucking people clapping.
And I agree, it is racism. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, Donald Trump is there's definitely an air of it being racism, but there's also an air of it being classism, because I don't think he would have, like I said, added, you know, other, you know, the poorer white nations. Like you did him say, you know, why can't we get some people from Georgia, some Polish? He didn't ask for any of those, and they're not even particularly like massively poor nations. He didn't know Ukraine, you know, he didn't ask for those in their white nations. So I don't think it was purely race-based, but yes, it was. He's very, very politically incorrect. Yes, there was probably an element of racism to it, but ultimately it boils down to what I said. I mean, let's just have a look at some of the comments here, just to kind of press home the point I was making. Swede here, I'd rather eat shards of glass. 11,000 likes. Hello from Norway. No, not coming anytime soon. 100,000 likes. We Scandinavian people will not come to Trump's America. 120,000 likes. Can you imagine the downgrade from moving from Sweden or Norway to the US? 10,000 likes. The funny thing is, those countries hate him. 75,000. Look, I live in Stockholm. I mean, I could go over and over and over and over. And look, it says, I live in Stockholm. It's very multicultural. Does he not realize there are black Swedish people? And that hasn't got that many likes. But this is the point that I'm making. Does Trump not understand what immigration is? I don't think he understands the difference between immigration, expatriates, migrants. You know, I don't think he understands the differences between these groups and the different conditions. Yes, you will attract people from different groups. That is very possible. You will attract people from different groups, but they'll be taking their position at different levels in society. You're never going to outgrow, particularly in this developing capital-based democratic world where corporations run the show, nations are never going to outgrow their need to have immigrants. Okay, it's a part of the beast that feeds capitalism. Unless you decide you're going to change your actual operating model to something that's more egalitarian, something that's more equity-based, something that actually is more socialist, looks to uplift your working class, unless you're going to change to your entire capitalist model, you're always going to need immigrants to feed your beast. So this is just like Trump either preying on the ignorance of people or actually not understanding something himself. And I'm actually starting to believe that Trump actually doesn't understand a lot of the stuff that he's convinced to say. At least that's my thoughts. What do you think, man? Put your feedback in the comments. Does Trump understand immigration? Am I getting it wrong? I don't care. Put it in the comments. Tell me what you think, and we'll chat about it later. Peace.
If you knew what you were made of, then we would say